Come on. I always get nervous at this part. It's loading the broad. 60%. All right. Marq, I love it when you do the countdown, man.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in a nerd cage with your hosts Marq and Jay. We hope you have a smashing good time.
Yes, hello and welcome. That's right, you're trapped in NerdCage Live. This ain't just a reaction show, but a debate show and a live discussion on everything that makes people like you and I tick. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I am your co-host, Jay St. G, coming to you live from Syracuse, New York. And always with me, my man, the Fiend from Louisville, Marq Withers. What's shaking, man? Bring our guest in.
Hey, what's going on, man? Super excited to be here as usual. And yes, we have a very special guest tonight. You guys may not know him by name, but you definitely know his voice. He does our intro and outro for the show. He's a very talented voice actor. This guy can do just about any voice. Coming to us from Hollywood, California, please welcome Matthew Farden.
What's
Matthew,
going
how
on,
you
ladies
doing?
and gentlemen? Coming live from Hollywood, California. That's right, it's Matthew Farden, the voice of the NerdCage Live.
Oh, dude. So happy for you to finally make it, man.
I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to start, throwing some punches. Not real, but you know what I mean. And I'm ready to have fun. Let's do this.
Okay,
All
so real quick, Matthew, I know you're from our hometown of Syracuse, and you're currently staying in Los Angeles. And fun fact for those who don't know, Matt and I did a previous YouTube channel together back in the day called Metal Couch Cast, and that was a lot of fun. So we've worked together before.
That's right. Mosh Pit Fardo, voice actor for hire.
Yes. So speaking of the voice acting thing, tell us a little bit more about what you do. And I know you've worked in Hollywood and you've been in a few movies. Come on, I want you to share that with us.
So basically, I started my voiceover career. I mean, since high school, I realized that I wanted to do not just like specifically film, but voiceover in general. Went to OCC actually with this strapping young lad here, Jay St. G, and that's where we started doing radio stuff. He realized I was like doing crazy voice stuff. He wanted that and we found out that we listened to metal together. So we did that. We jumped on. We did Monday Night Massacre. Back in college.
College radio.
College radio, yep. And had a great time doing that. And it really just kind of helped me to develop more of my voices, have a great time with you and the guys there. And then I jumped out to Vancouver, studied at the film school there, was able to kind of get my hands dirty in the Vancouver industry, did some auditions, everything, came back, worked for my dad for a little bit, then finally saved up some money and made the second major jump to Los Angeles. And I've been here for about it's 2017, roughly 3 years now, and it feels like it's longer. I feel like I've been here for a decade already.
So we just want to welcome a couple people in the chat here. Podchaser Inc., thanks for coming in. Paul Tackett, great supporter. And our moderator, Fallen One Gaming, it says, looking good, Matt. It's been a while. I haven't seen you since our Mortal Kombat tournament at Jay's old apartment.
Oh, my God.
My buddy Joe, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's been forever.
It's been forever.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, so we're happy that everyone's here today. It looks like we got a number of people in here tonight. This is great. So Matt, one thing I'm really excited to talk about is you've been in a number of movies in the past couple of years. You want to just share those with us?
Yes. I mean, at this point, I can definitely share the ones because, of course, just like everything in Hollywood, you sign an NDA, you can't talk about it. I can say for sure, Call of the Wild that was out, the new Harrison Ford movie. I was in that. There's a scene I did. It was me and a bunch of extras. There were probably about 500 to 600 extras on set. I was literally out in the Santa Clarita Desert. It was 108, 110 degrees, and they had snow machines, and we were trying to make it look like the Great White North, and it was ridiculous. I had bear furs on, and we had trading pelts, and we literally, for a week and a half, I was wearing like these old, like 1950s, 40s looking boots that were supposed to look like 1800s. So we were all wearing these boots and these furs and everything for a week and a half in like 106-degree heat. Literally, people were just, like the PAs were running around with water. Between every take, they went to every single person, made sure that we all had water, because there were some people that almost got like heat stroke and stuff like that. So, but it was a great process. I got to work with Yanni Kaminsky, who is Steven Spielberg's director of photography. So every single Spielberg movie that you've seen, Yanni Kaminsky was on it. I was very, very blessed and fortunate enough to meet him. He's a very nice little squat Polish guy. and the whole crew, that was great. Man, I'm trying to think. You know, especially when you do like extras work, you do background work, you really just you forget how many that you've been on, because it's just, okay, now you're working on set for 3 days this week, then 5 days this week, and probably between the 3 years, I've probably been on like 60 to 80 different productions.
Nice.
So, yeah, I can't, unfortunately, anything that isn't out yet, I can't talk about, but I definitely Call the Wild. I remember that came out. Oh, Birds of Prey. I was an extra in Birds of Prey. Nice. For anybody who's watched the scene where she's running from, when she's running from the cop, and the air conditioning unit falls down in front of her and she has to do like a cartwheel. I was actually right there in front of the where she did the cartwheel. I was like at this stand. And so my job was just to go, what the hell was that?
Please tell me that you met Margot Robbie.
No, and here's why. And here's the magic of Hollywood. I'm sure a lot of people revel in like ruining Hollywood for people, but like it was a stunt, her stunt double. Margot Robbie was actually off because when I was on set, they were doing pickup shots, because they were doing basically, once they were like, no, we have to redo those scenes. We have, deadline. So she was off, I think, in another part of the city doing a different scene, like doing pickups. So they got a whole bunch of us, of background actors together, and we did this scene again. But I did get to meet her stunt double, and she's I'm very sorry I forgot her name, but she's a very incredible woman. She's done a lot of stunts. She's been doing stunts, I think she said, for about 12 to 14 years. Wow. In Hollywood. So if you see any like stunt double, like random blonde stunt doubles in any other movies, like that look like young stunt doubles, it was most likely her. And she's a very great personality, great sense of humor. I talked to her and everything on set. It was just a great experience. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of, because everyone's just like, when do you meet bad Hollywood? When do you meet the ones that are just like, give me my coffee, I swear to God, I'm going to get off set. No, luckily
we're waiting for those stories.
Yeah, we're just like,
incriminating evidence. Right, incriminating stuff. So then I start bitching about that, and then all of a sudden I get calls from studios going, we can't work with you anymore.
Yeah.
No, fortunately, I've been able to work with a lot of really nice people on set. And it's so far it's just been a great experience. I'm trying to remember which ones are already out. Yeah, Birds of Prey, Call the Wild.
The Way Back, right?
Oh, what's that?
The Way Back with Ben Affleck.
Oh, that was a great movie, man.
Yes, The Way Back. I was in one of the gymnasium scenes. Yep. I was
awesome.
one of the people in the gym. And then,
how's it that I remember these things and you don't?
Because he stays so busy. You know what I mean? Like he's constantly.
That's
working,
what happens, man. When you're in the job. I mean, man, do you remember all the loans that you give out?
No, but okay. So it's out of the bag now. So yes. So during the daytime, I'm a loan officer during the day. Believe it or not.
Oh, so I didn't know if you were trying to keep that secret.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's out there now. I I don't care really.
It's like some guy that comes up to you and just goes, "Hey, do you remember when you gave me that loan for that centipede farm?"
I get some bizarre requests, like, no lie. So I guess I could talk about this without giving any names away, but I've had people put in loan applications for to have money for a mail order bride or mail order husband.
Wow.
Really?
Yes. I am not making this up.
In central New York?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
yes.
God.
Wow.
You just can't make that shit up.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then one, I guess I can't say the name, obviously, because I could lose my job over, but actually there was I refused to do the loan, but I've actually had a pastor who needed a loan for a lawyer. I'll leave it at that. And I refused to do that one.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I get some like, some bad like business that this is like, oh really? I get a lot of those.
Right.
And then I get the common one. So.
No, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
So Matt, like, talk to us a little bit about like your influences as like a voice actor. Like, I'm sure that like you had other people that came before you that you kind of looked up to, like for us, like as far as like being like, up and coming like movie pundits, let's say, like we're big into like John Campea, Grace Randolph and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Who were like the big like voice actors that like influenced you and that sort of like gave you a path to try to follow?
I would definitely say the first, so of course, just, I guess to go way back, the first time that I really got interested into voices was, I had to have been 5 or 6, and my parents introduced me to the worst thing that you could probably introduce your 5 or 6-year-old to. I remember because it was the first time that we got cable TV, and my mom was just like, Nickelodeon channel, it's for kids, it should be fine. She sets me in front of the TV, my eyes would just go wide, and the first show I watch is Ren and Stimpy. So I'm literally just watching, oh, Stimpy, oh, shucks, Ren, you fool, I shall kill you, like all that stuff.
Right.
And so I didn't know their names at the time, but it would have been, of course, Billy West, who's the voice of Ren and Stimpy. Gary Owens, the great late Gary Owens.
Yes.
The powdered toast Mayan.
And the host of the dinosaur shows, too.
Oh, yes, and the dinosaur shows, exactly, yep. They were my first voice actors that I listened to, but then in high school, one of my buddies came up to me because he knew that I really loved doing the voices and stuff, and he was like, hey, do you know Tom Kenny by any chance? And I was like, I've heard, yeah, he's the voice of SpongeBob. And he goes, yeah, Tom Kenny is from Syracuse.
Yep.
And he made a career being a voiceover guy, because he started off back in the 90s, he was on Rocko's Modern Life as Heifer. He did a lot of like the background, the backing characters as well. But Rocco was like one of his first big starts doing that kind of stuff. And then he moved his way on. And then he was very fortunate to meet Steve Hildenberg and the guys at the time and get on SpongeBob with that incredible cast. So, but finding out, I would say my main influence at that point on would have been Tom Kenny. Because, especially being a Syracuse native, he proved to me that some random dippy dude from Syracuse, not him, me, but, we're all dips. We're all dips in our own way. But, he like this random person from Syracuse could go on and make a career and and really touch the hearts of millions of not just children, but like teenagers, because he does everything. He does every single genre you can think of. And he's just such a sweet guy. I haven't met him yet. I have not met him yet, but the first time I get a chance to, that is going to be like my benchmark in the industry. But I've talked to tens and tens of people and hundreds of people that have worked with him and have met him, and I'm very happy to say that he is literally one of the sweethearts of the voiceover industry. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's passionate about his work. He's driven. He also does, because he did a bunch of music stuff when he was in Syracuse. He's actually out. He has a big big band out here. Mm-hmm. Wow. And so he still performs live. Like he'll go to the academy luncheons and stuff like that, and his band will play for them and stuff like that. But he's just all around. He's just a really nice guy. So I would definitely say Tom Kenny's the main one that like drove me to do everything.
Got a couple of people in the chat here. Potskaiju Inc. says he loves Rocco's Modern Life, and Paul Tackett says I was more into Pinky and the Brain.
You know what?
Pinky and the Brain. Yep.
Animaniacs, which is coming back, by the way.
It is, and I was very fortunate enough. I can't say anything about the movie, but my voice mentor, Debbie Derryberry, who's the voice of Jimmy Neutron, very nice woman, very, very nice woman. She called me up last minute one day and said, "Hey, I know that you're looking to connect. You're looking for maybe some background work or something to do. Would you like to come? To my friend Tara's house? And we're shooting a movie, and they're looking for extras to just kind of be in like this wedding scene." And I was like, "Yeah, of course, sure." So I was very fortunate enough to also get a chance to meet Tara Strong, who's the voice of Timmy Turner. She's the voice of the new Harley Quinn. Yep, Harley Quinn. Everything. Anybody who knows what Tara is like one of Tara, Debbie, E.G. Daily was also there too, voice of Tommy Pickles. Like those three gals are like the power trio of the voiceover industry. And just very, very nice gals, very, very nice gals. And then I also, the guy who was the rabbi in the movie is Maurice LaMarche, the voice of the Brain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, and also the voice of Kif, and he does a bunch of voices. Anything Matt Groening, like Futurama, Disenchantment, Animaniacs, and also Maurice LaMarche is the voice of the Lexus commercials.
Oh, okay. That's
so
cool.
when you hear him talking about the new Lexuses and everything, yep, that's him. So I was able to meet him too, and it was just really surreal. It was a great experience. And the answer is yes. I kept my cool. I kept my cool.
Yes.
But it's so far I've been really blessed to meet a lot of really nice people. Still working towards getting an agent and keeping everything up to date, especially with COVID that's going around. That's put a major damper on things right now, especially out in the industry. I mean, probably about 70% of the industry is still locked down right now. So, but I haven't lost the faith. I'm still going forward. That's all you can do is just say yes and keep moving forward.
I guess the most famous voice actor that I met is actually standing right behind you, Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario. He came to Retro Game Con a couple of years ago, and it was a pleasure meeting him. Absolutely.
I've heard great things about him too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my friend Lila or I'm trying to remember someone who did meet him as well in person, and he's another fantastic person as well too.
Also, voice acting has been pretty prominent into video games as well. A lot of voice acting there. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit. So, Matt, did you catch DC Fandom over the weekend?
Unfortunately, I had a lot of other stuff going on the weekend, so no, I heard about it, but I unfortunately didn't get a chance to check it out.
Did you watch any of the trailers like afterwards? Like
yes. The Gotham Knight.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so stoked for Gotham Knights. Absolutely.
Yes. I watched that, and as soon as I saw that, and it was just like, oh, they're going after Arkham Knight. They're gonna have. Yes,
well, no,
so
it's not a sequel to the Arkham games. This is its own timeline.
Oh, it's his own timeline. Okay,
yeah, and what's really interesting too, what kind of shocked me is that the Robin is actually Tim Drake, not Damian Wayne.
Yes, yeah,
is that right though? Because I thought that Red Robin was in that, and Red Robin is Tim Drake.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, just from what I gather, it's Drake, Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, obviously is Nightwing, and then Red Hood, Jason Todd. And this timeline, Batman's Dead, Court of Owls, and Mr. Freeze. I mean, it looks awesome. I can't wait. 4-player co-op. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait for Gotham Knights, man. I know
it looks great.
I know there's the Suicide Squad game too, but I am more excited for Gotham Knights. I really am. So to anybody out there, I plan on getting on the next generation Xbox, and if anybody wants to co-op it up, man, come holler at your boy.
I know that Warner Brothers hasn't been the kindest to the DC universe, as like how Marvel has just been like dominating the films. But if there's one thing that I've always respected is the people at WB Games, like the people, because they seem to really, whoever's in charge over there, they seem to have a really good handle, and they're like, nope, if we're doing Batman, we're gonna do it right, and we're gonna make sure that everything, and not just with the Joker. Of course, yeah, the Joker's the main focus, but the fact that they worked on, they brought all the other villains, Scarecrow, Clayface, Killer Croc, and Poison Ivy, and everyone, and the Penguin. It seems that they've done justice so far. I've been satisfied for the most part with every single game that's come out. So I'm really looking forward to this, because it's time for the sidekicks to come to the forefront. So.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, we got a question in the chat for you. We got a question in the chat for you, Matthew.
Sure.
How has your experience been transitioning from living on the East Coast to the West Coast, coming from Pots Kaiju Inc.?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The transition was actually easier because like I mentioned earlier, I went to Vancouver. Vancouver's already on the West Coast, and Vancouver is basically called the real North Hollywood, because for everybody out there that doesn't know, about 60% or anywhere close to 50 to 60% of a lot of stuff is shot up in Vancouver. Like, for example, a lot of the Rambo movies were shot like in Coquitlam and stuff, like right outside of Vancouver.
Really?
Anything? The Deadpool movies. Of course, Ryan Reynolds being Canadian, all the Deadpool movies are mostly shot in Vancouver. Anything. Continuum, the show, The Fringe.
Then Godzilla 2014 was
Godzilla
shot.
2014, which actually the funny part was, in that Godzilla, the scene where they're all in the control room and everything's about to go nuts. They're the monster's about to come out of its cocoon. One of my professors, Bill, was in that scene. He was one of the people in the control room when they're like, evacuate, and he's one of the guys that walks. He's one of the guys with the beard that walks in front of it. And it's just like, oh my god. So, but yeah, no, like 50 to 60% of stuff is up there. I mean, I was at a party in Vancouver, not to deviate too much, but I was at a party in Vancouver, and this guy lived in a high-rise, and so there was like an outdoor patio area, and right down the street from us, one of my friends was on set working, and you could down the street, you could see the big chroma key blue screens and everything, and George Clooney was like about a block or two down from where I was at this guy's party.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. So,
how did you find Vancouver, like, as a city? Because like I've been there a few times and I love it. Like I'm a wannabe Canadian, like, you know what I mean? like anytime I go to Canada, I like totally enjoy it. So what was it like to live there versus like just being like kind of a tourist?
To be honest, it literally is just America Light.
Really?
It's like Miller Lite, but it's literally just a lighter version of it. Like when we would actually turn on the television to watch the news, most of the time, I mean, there is still news that Canada covers, but most of it was just covering whatever its neighbors to the south were doing, or anything that's happening there, especially because of the trade deals and stuff like that we have in Canada. But a lot of the times this guy would just be on, and he'd be like, and now we're gonna go live to someone outside of town, blah blah blah, and then this girl, and it'd just be like, Mrs. Jenkins was outside watering her garden when all of a sudden she saw something crazy. So I saw a bear, and he just walked out there, and he said, oh my god. So I called my husband, and then the bear just left, and that would be like the nightly news. The big thing is like a bear.
I'm sorry, those voices, man. We got a couple comments in the chat here. Paul Teca says Atlanta, Georgia is the new hotspot, and Scotty Bannock says, Matt, have you seen Dream Theater live yet?
I have. So the first one, to wrap up what I said. So because of Vancouver, the transition was easy for Kaiju. The transition was very easy because Vancouver is just like a smaller version of like Los Angeles, different geography and stuff like that. But for the most part, just how it's set up and everything, it's like Los Angeles is just a lot bigger. It's an entire county, as opposed to Vancouver being 1 to 2 million people. Los Angeles is 5 to 10 million people. So that actually helped me transition really good to it. But to continue what we were talking about, Atlanta is a new hotspot for voiceover. Nashville, Tennessee has become a new one, and also Austin, Texas. A lot of people have been moving to Austin, Texas, and especially because Funimation is based in Texas as well too.
Okay, I did not know that because I know they're owned by Sony.
Yeah.
And fun fact, Funimation is the one that released Shin Gojira into the United States.
Yep.
So.
Yep, exactly. So they're based in Texas. So a lot of stuff is moving, especially, like I said, I stay out of the politics as much as possible. But what we have been seeing, especially because of COVID and everything, a lot of people are realizing that they can be in different areas, kind of like how we're in different areas right now.
Right.
This podcast. Yeah. And so as long as you have the hookup and as long as you're making the right connections and you're talking to the right people, you could potentially move to different markets. And as long as you can still deliver, you should be okay. I mean, for me personally, I still want to keep, I want to keep, scraping it out here, and because I've met a lot of really nice people. I'm really close to hopefully maybe getting an agent. I'm just, going to keep pressing forward and see what happens. But in the next couple of years, I mean, you still. I know there are people that say if you have a backup plan, then that means that your main plan is going to falter. But I'm opposite of that. I'm a pragmatist. You got to really go where it's going to be. I'm not going to keep slugging it out here and living in my car for 5 years, making no money. If I can move to Texas or move to Nashville and save thousands of dollars on rent each year, and then also potentially just keep doing my work from home. But like I said, I'm very optimistic still. I'm going to keep doing what I can. My roommate and I are also writing, so we're hoping that we can maybe get like someone interested in the show that we're working on and
nice.
Do that. So
nice,
very
mug.
Cool.
But yeah. Was there? I'm trying. Sorry, I was scatterbrained. Was there another question that I hadn't answered yet?
No. I think you just Scotty just asked if you've seen Dream Theater.
Dream Theater. Yes, I saw them at the Wheel Turn in downtown LA, and it was incredible. That was the second time I saw them. The first time I saw them was for the Images and Words 25th anniversary tour in Rochester. So I got to see them. That was the first time I got to watch, and they played Images and Words entirely, and then through this one they played their they played off their new album, and then they also played from start to finish Turn of Events. That was right. Turn of Events. So it was incredible. That's Dream Theater is my go-to. That's my favorite band of all time.
Rush.
Nice.
And Rush, they started it, and then Dream Theater continued it as I got heavier and heavier with music.
Right on. I'm a big Rush fan myself. Like, I'm a huge Neil Peart fan. Mm-hmm. So I feel you there.
I could listen to that music. Prog rock. I know Jay always makes fun of me, but
the prog nerd. It's all good fun though. It's all good fun.
I know it is.
We have a lot of common ground music, but there are some bands that and because there's so many subgenres of metal and rock that but for the most part we click on a lot of things, which is why we did college radio together. And we went to a lot of shows together. We saw Megadeth. We seen we even went and saw Gorgo Bordello. I mean, we've been to
wow.
Oh god, dude, that was bananas. That was bananas. I had a blast, dude. It's not my music per se, but we used to play them a lot in college radio, and we just my god, it was a ton of fun. I'll leave it at that.
Oh my god, yes.
Nice.
I do have to correct when I saw Dream Theater in LA, it was Scenes from a Memory. That's the one. It was Metropolis Part 2. They played that in its entirety. But anyways, I just wanted to tighten that loose end.
Okay, so I want to touch. So before we go into our rage topic, there's some stuff that I want to discuss real quick. So we it's not breaking news, but it was officially announced today that Netflix is having a Resident Evil show.
Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now is it going to be? I hadn't heard this news, so this is breaking news to me. So
breaking news. Netflix decides that they're going to have a Resident Evil.
So is it going to be a continuation of the films, or is it a reboot, or is
it takes place in the same, from what I read, it takes place in the same universe as the games, but it takes place in the future. It's so the main villain of the games, Albert Wesker, has, I guess in this show, has 2 kids, and I guess there's two timelines. There's going to be one where the kids are dealing with the zombie incident, and then they're going to show 30 years later how they're dealing with everything. From what I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's from the people. It's from the people that did Supernatural, the TV series Supernatural.
Okay.
I'm stoked for it. I mean, it bothers me a little bit, but they're still not going to the traditional game. But I'm very curious to check this out. Fallen One Gaming is he's the biggest Resident Evil fan I know, and he's probably all about this. I'm all about it too. Also, I want to call out to somebody real quick. So the guy from Jill's Sandwich Shop, he's a Resident Evil podcast. I would love to be on your show, and so would Fallen One Gaming. So if you're here tonight, we definitely would love to come on your show. We would love to talk about this new Resident Evil TV series and of course the Resident Evil 8 rumors. So, but yeah, I'm all for a Resident Evil Netflix series. I can't wait. I really hope it's good. I'm very much looking forward to it.
All I'm hoping for, I mean, and this is a shout out to my buddy Steve, because Steve and I, we're weird like that. We love the sound effects and everything, like with the zombies making everything. So if they have a section where, like, during the thing they're shooting the zombie, and all of a sudden I hear, ooh, I'm gonna be like, yes. Because sometimes you really, I think it's after like the third shot or something. Steve would know more. Because he pays more attention. But yeah, it's like after the second or third shot, you shoot the zombie a couple times, and then he just goes, ooh. It's actors. We're weird. We're weird people.
Yeah, it was just like hours ago. I mean, it's been rumblings on the internet forever, but Netflix officially announced it today. So really, really, really excited. I see the chat's excited about it. Some people were not aware of it. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty much brand new breaking news. And just before we went on air, man, I watched Lovecraft Country.
Yes. So good.
Wow. Matt, have you watched it yet?
Lovecraft Country. No, to be honest, I've just been focusing on a lot of stuff currently, so I hadn't looked into that yet. But give me the scoop.
It's Mark. Why don't you tell him?
So I don't know if I can sort of summarize this, but basically it's about a guy who comes back from the Korean War, and his father's missing, and his father has left clues to where he might be, and it ends up in this part of, is it Maryland? I forget the state, but it's in what's called Lovecraft Country, because H.P. Lovecraft lived there at one point, and it's said to have like a supernatural supernatural things happening in it, and so he goes there with his uncle and a friend, and they, and it's all about like what happens to them when they get there. A lot of I don't know how to describe it. A lot of strange, bizarre stuff happens to them. Yeah. And so it's really cool.
I'm just
really
remembering now, isn't it? It's like Jordan Peele, I think, and J.J.
Yes.
Abrams.
Yes.
Aren't they? Yes. Okay, that's right. Okay, so I
show's
did see
on HBO Max, man. It's great.
Okay.
I just literally watched the first
I'll
episode.
totally check it out.
I just literally finished the first episode right before we went on air. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
HBO Max, man, they're stepping it up, man. I mean, I know the Snyder Cut's a long ways away, but at least they have some stuff. They're dropping all these great shows and all these great movies now. It's been a slow process, but now we're beginning to see it. HBO Max is definitely here to stay.
Yeah, my only gripe with them is still that, even now, like, they still are not on Roku and Amazon, which is like 70% of the streaming market. Yeah. Why would you not have something, at least, some kind of announcement like, hey, we're still working on this, like, we're going to have it at some point, because a lot of the standalone apps that are on those platforms are going away. And what are guys like me who, I'm a Roku guy.
Same here.
What am I supposed to do when DC Universe goes away, when HBO Now goes away? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's a sore spot for me.
Yeah, I think the problem is a lot of stuff Technology is a virtue. Technology is a virtue, but the problem is the handling of it. And when new stuff comes out now, as opposed to, the new iPhone just came out 3 years later. Now there's like 7 iPhones that come out every year.
Right.
So everyone's just getting used to the Roku TVs and the Roku systems, but now they're just like, nah, we're just gonna do this now. And it's like, whoa. That's like, you can't just do that. Especially, I'm glad that they've like held out the PS5 and the new Xbox for a little bit longer, because you got to give some leeway. I liked enjoying the PlayStation 2 for a long time, but then the PlayStation 3 came out, but I ended up going to the Xbox, and then I went back to PS4. But basically, that's it.
Yep.
All right, so Matt, I figure it's the best way to transition to our debate here.
Okay.
So when the fortunate, every time you come to home, to visit. So last year when you came home to visit, we went to see a certain movie from a certain director. If you want to, fill us in on this particular movie.
Yes. So I came home for Christmas. It was Christmas.
No. It was the summertime.
Oh, duh, July. That's right. I was thinking of way before. Yeah, it was in July. I came back because I was helping my dad out with his retirement and everything. He was getting ready to sell the business, and so of course the same time that already came out was Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Jay was like, "Yo, man, we gotta go see this, man. We gotta go see this," and I was just like, yeah, we do."
Mark just watched it recently.
Yeah, I finally watched it. I didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters, but I watched it like maybe, what was it, like a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my initial reaction to it, like about a half hour in, like I messaged Jay and I was like, I don't know, man. Like this
I'm
movie
like,
is
no, Mark, stick with it. I'm like, stick with it.
Yeah. And then it picked up and I think like once it got like to the Bruce Lee scene, I was like, all right, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But question to Mark. Mark, is that your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie or no?
Absolutely not. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie is really 2 movies, Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Okay, so we'll fuse those 2 together. So Matt,
yeah, we'll call it 1.
Okay, so Matt, you say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, great. I love that movie.
Current standard, yep.
Mark, you say Kill Bill, great. That was like one of my favorite movies back in high school. But you know what? My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, man.
Come on. All right, so you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's time to bring all you guys into the cage. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gents, it's time for Rage in the Cage.
Finish him.
So strap in and join the fight in the comments below. Pick a side, Team Marq or Team J. Who will it be?
Yes, Rage in the Cage, baby.
Oh, that's so weird hearing your own voice.
We should have had you do that live.
Yes. So for the first time ever, we're going to do a 3-way Rage in the Cage. So Matt's not just going to be a spectator. He's going to give his argument too. So here we go. Team Mark, Team Matt, Team Jay. Everybody pick a side. So Mark, why don't you make your argument for your movie first?
Man, why am I always first, man? I always like to do the rebuttal. But yeah, so I'm going to say the reason why, like, either Kill Bill 1 or Kill Bill 2 or both of them, the reason why I think that those movies are so special is because it gives you the opportunity to see Quentin Tarantino give a tribute to all of his favorite directors. So you get like a taste of Peckinpah, you get a taste of Sergio Leone, you get Kurosawa, you get the Shaw brothers. You get a little bit of everything wrapped in a narrative that is definitively Quentin Tarantino. Like, he does his own thing while at the same time, like, basically writing this love letter to all of the people who have inspired him, and I think it's just beautifully done. I think that you could easily make that one movie, without it being boring or dragging on or anything like that. So that's going to be my first jab. So I want to know what you think. Like, why is Pulp Fiction better than those movies?
Because I feel like Pulp Fiction is like the ultimate movie of the 90s, okay? Let's just take the cast, okay? So obviously your usual Quentin Tarantino suspects. You got your Sam Jackson, but we see a new side of John Travolta, a side of John Travolta we've never seen prior, and only Quentin Tarantino could get that performance out of him. And of course, Bruce Willis, coming off kind of a slump. Pulp Fiction was kind of like his reinvigorated his career again. And then we have like the ultimate cameo from Christopher Walken. And the most bizarre story about the watch in his ass.
The watch.
Yeah, dude, like, oh man, everything about them. And I love the storytelling. I love how it was like out of order. Like, I love how Pulp Fiction really, really highlighted telling the story in out of order.
Right. And I think that might have been like one of the first times we'd seen that, right?
Yeah. I mean, Reservoir Dogs maybe a little bit, but it definitely in Pulp Fiction. It's just, to me, like, just I guess the style of storytelling and the cast, and I just feel like although his other movies are great, it just hasn't been the same ever since, and that movie means the world to me. So that's gonna be my first jab. Matt, what do you got?
So I think, that's the thing, is like, cider director, like, all of his, literally, he came, basically dropping out of school and people saying, no, you're not going to do it. And he goes, I'm going to do whatever I want. And he, he's like the big success story for his field. I love all of them. I love the Kill Bills. I love Pulp Fiction. I love Hateful Eight. I love Django. I love all of those films that he's done. For me personally, I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I love seeing movies about, they're all, every generation has its controversies and everything, like growing up like the 50s, 60s, 70s days. But I just like seeing like the golden age of like Hollywood, like in the 50s, 60s, that sort of era. I just love seeing the cars. I love seeing the outfits, the cast of people and everything like that. And to watch Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, I mean, come on, those guys were great. Those guys were great together.
They were.
And the supporting cast and everything. I think personally, just because I'm a voice actor and an actor, like I'm a little more biased towards that. I just really love the cinematography. I loved that, and I mean, if you haven't seen the movie already, spoilers. Just gonna say spoilers. The ending is hilarious.
Yeah,
where he kicked the shit out of the Manson family. And those people getting, because you're watching this because you think like Leo's character's down on his luck. You think that he's like going through like an acid trip or something, or he's drunk. But then they just do the whole fight scene with the flamethrower. It's goddamn hilarious. It's amazing Quentin Tarantino at his best. And then you see them walk up to the guys where that family was supposedly shot and killed, but they're now alive and the Manson family's dead. And then you go, okay, so now he's going to wake up from the stupor. But nope, it just pans out. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I was just like, you son of a bitch, Quentin Tarantino. So personally, I just liked seeing the Manson family get the shit kicked out of them, just to see that and to know in that universe that couple doesn't get murdered senselessly. But as a whole, like, I loved when he was on the Western scene, and especially the little girl walks up and goes, "Wow, you're a great actor," and he's just like
loses it.
Still got it. Still got it. You know, I think the whole cast that they picked for that whole thing was just incredible. Even the people who played the Manson family, just like all around. Like, it was just, you go in, you strap yourself in. When you watch a Tarantino film, I mean, and I know the whole, the Bruce Lee controversy, especially with his daughter talking about that. And I totally get that. I totally 100% get how she felt about that. You always want, you know, your loved ones to be represented the way that they need to be. But if you just push everything out, push politics, push everything out.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
Right.
It's fiction.
It's an alternate
Everyone's
universe.
just having fun. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino's just like, what if? It's just what if. And then they do it, and I can see why a lot of people enjoyed it and why they enjoy his films. So, yeah, no, that's my defense. That's strictly because I'm an actor, but, you know, and I like seeing, like, the struggling actor story and all that stuff. And, of course, the scene at the end.
Dude,
but, that's my jab.
Excellent. Love your perspective. All right, Rob, so looks like Betty Rage says it's a tie, and then, you know, it looks like a lot of people are digging our picks. So, Marq, second jab. Let's go.
All right. So, you know, you mentioned, you know, like the cast, you know, there being a great ensemble cast in Pulp Fiction, and I completely agree with you. I mean, you know, when I first saw that film, like I think it came out in like 94, that was one of the things I loved about it. I mean, everybody in that was fantastic. That said, I think that Kill Bill also has a fantastic cast. I mean, you've got Uma Thurman, you've got Vivica A. Fox, Daryl Hannah in a role that we've never seen her before. You know what I mean? And she like played it masterfully. And in addition to that, you have all of these, all these classic actors from like the 60s and 70s kind of, you know, really doing their thing in a modern way. I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of like 70s and 80s martial arts movies, and to see Sonny Chiba in there playing Hattori Hanzo, which is basically a reprisal of a role that he played in the 1980s, you know, like that was amazing to me. You know, David Carradine in the role as Bill. I mean, and he was phenomenal in that. You know, I mean, like I think that was his last. That was like his last role?
I think it was his last major movie, but he did a lot of commercials afterwards. But yeah,
right. So I mean, that alone, I think, you know, it makes an excellent case. But I also think that there are like little subtle nuances in that make that film stand apart. Like, for example, the very first like fight scene between Vernita Green and the bride, right? There's that scene where Nakia, the little girl, comes home and the house is a wreck and she's just standing there looking. And right after that, there's like a great scene of just it's like the best nonverbal acting scene.
Yes,
that
I agree with that, but there's a problem with that scene though. I'm sorry. It's if I saw walked into my mother getting killed, I wouldn't be reacting the way I did. I wouldn't just be standing there staring. Okay, my reaction.
Not that part.
I know. But I'm saying, that was part of that same scene, though. That the little girl, girl, when she walked back in after she shot the boom cereal, when she walked in and seen her pull the knife out, like. Her reaction, come on, her reaction. I can't imagine any little girl reacting like that. If you saw your walking your mother,
in shock. You don't really know. But
everybody takes things differently.
Quiet, Lassie. I'm trying to do. But the part that I meant was when she first comes home. Yeah. Like you get Vivica A. Fox basically communicating with her eyes, like, please don't tell her. Yeah. And then you see Uma Thurman basically like communicating with her without saying anything. And that is such a powerful scene just by itself, just that one scene by itself. And I don't think that I've seen any other Tarantino movie where he's done something like that, where he's had two actors basically like talk to each other telepathically in that way. So, it's one of many reasons why that movie is my favorite.
Okay, so the chat's chiming in here. This is why we love the show, and this is why you guys are the fight panel here. So Scott Bannock says Kill Bill wins. I'm not even a martial arts dude. Fuck you, Scott. Let's see.
Smart man.
Pots Kaiju Inc. says Django may be my favorite Quentin Tarantino film right now. Fox was amazing. DiCaprio did his best acting ever. Bleed for the movie. Sam Jackson was also hilarious as always. It was a Western dialed to 11. So we got one guy saying that Team Marq and another guy saying we're all wrong.
Man.
See, but that's the thing about Quentin Tarantino.
Yep.
He has so many incredible movies. You just can't.
True.
He's not one of those one-note directors. He literally goes, what? Coincidentally, what if I did a Western, or what if I do this, or what if I don't give a shit what you guys.
Can we all agree that? Can we all the three of us agree that we would love to see Quentin do the Star Trek movie?
I'm in for it.
Same, yeah.
I'm down. I want to see what he can do. Yeah, I want to see what he can do with it.
For those who don't know, it's been rumblings for a while now that Quentin Tarantino has been in talks of doing a Star Trek movie, and I guess he wants to go back. Forgive me, I'm not a big Trekkie like my parents were, but Marq, maybe you might remember. What's the episode from the original series where they go back to like the 1930s or something?
I don't know the title of that.
But
Like,
that's what Quentin wants to do. He wants to do a movie based off of that episode in that setting where the Star Trek crew go back to the 1930s Earth or whatever that was. Quentin wants to do.
I think that's the one. Yeah, I think that's the one where Spock decides that he's happier there or something. I know there's a planet one, but I think there's one where they go back in time and he feels like he's happy there, and he ends up staying back in the 30s or something.
Paul Tackett's like, no, he doesn't want to see him do Star Trek.
No. Hey, I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong.
And also, Pots Kaiju, I almost forgot Death Proof. That was a good movie,
Yes,
and I love Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Matt, do your second jab. Come on.
Oh man, my second jab. I put all my jabs in the first one. All right, so my second jab is I still also think that, Tarantino's, it's just like everything. The more you do things, the more you progress, the more you get better with it. And I think Tarantino's kind of like a fine wine. As it gets older, it juicifies, or whatever you want to think. It's just like the wine gets much better with age. And I think that he really, especially with like Kill Bill and stuff like that, like he was paying homage to like the people before who influenced him. And then I think, his last few films, those are more towards, all right, now let's see what my thing is with this genre or with that genre. So kind of that, but at the same time, like I said, he also doesn't shy away with like showing how things were in the 70s and like in the 60s. I mean, I talked to a bunch of like, I can't name names or anything, but I talked to a bunch of older gentlemen and older gals on set who were starting out in film and stuff in the 70s and the 80s. They're, production people. And they said, oh yeah, everyone was just, they're like, if you weren't tripping acid, or if like the DP wasn't doing acid or like doing heroin or something, you weren't living. So yeah. I mean, that's welcome to Hollywood.
Hollywood. Exactly. Holly Weird is said.
Holly Weird, yeah. So I like exactly. So I like that, especially with the scene with the girl going into the movie theater and wanting to be recognized, but people aren't.
Sharon Tate, yeah.
Sharon Tate, yeah, exactly. Like that stuff happens. And just the whole progression of the movie, like it really does show how things can be. I'm not saying that they're. Things have gotten a lot better, of course, over the years, but I like that even though it's a fictional thing, he still likes to put non-fictional elements to remind people of like how it was in the 60s and the 70s, trying to make it in the film industry.
Okay, so, I like it.
That's a good, all good points.
Yeah, no, it's really awesome to hear your perspective, Matt, because you've spent a lot of time in Hollywood. So, my next jab here, look. So I just feel like, again, Pulp Fiction, all right, let's talk about the comedy. I mean, I know all his movies have like a comedy element, but this one, come on. When they first arrived to the apartment and Sam Jackson's like, Big Kahuna Burger, and just that scene, it was so funny, and he's reciting he's like, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing, and just like, oh, I'm sorry, like those one-liners from Sam Jackson is just classic. And then, then they shoot what's his face, Alexis Arquette, who before he became a chick. They shoot him down after he he fires a gun, misses the bullets, and they're like, well, what the hell just happened? They shoot him, and then they're just arguing about like. They're just arguing about, oh, it was a miracle. I don't believe in God. Well, no, I want you to fucking acknowledge it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's just so funny hearing their banter. And then, of course, the famous scene where he accidentally shoots the dude in the face in the car. It's like, it's hilarious. It's like, I mean, it's dark. It's pure dark comedy. And then, I'm sorry, but I find this funny, too, is the gimp. In the rape scene.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't like if you're just watching it for the first time, you're like, oh no, like what's gonna happen?
I will interject for just a second and say this really interesting little tidbit. So the two guys in the apartment, the guy that gets his head blown off in the apartment, that is Phil LaMarr, and Phil LaMarr is a very famous voice actor. Voices Samurai Jack, Hermes. In a bunch of Disenchantment stuff. Like this guy's Phil LaMarr has done everything as well too. He's another incredible voice actor that's one of the elites in Hollywood here. Great guy. There's a little tidbit there. That was like one of his, that's how he sort of came into acting and stuff, and he got that role. And then of course, why am I forgetting this? Mad TV.
Yes.
Being on Mad TV, all of his incredible stuff that he did there. That was one of his first major things was being in Pulp Fiction, being the guy that gets his head blown off.
Yeah, I know him best as like Green Lantern from the Justice League cartoon.
Yes, great portrayal of Green Lantern.
Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess like again, closing my second jab here, I'm just gonna say that to me, like I think it's his funniest movie. And I feel like all his other movies borrowed from Pulp Fiction as far as doing the dark comedy, and I just feel like I feel like Pulp Fiction is a timeless movie. I feel like it's the best movie other than maybe Terminator 2. I feel like Pulp Fiction is the best movie of the 90s. Not only that, it's the best movie of the 90s. It may be the best Quentin Tarantino movie ever. Mm-hmm. So Team J, everybody, come on, Team J. If there's any, I'm fighting for air right now. Team J, let's go, Pulp Fiction.
I sound like I'm agreeing with you, but I'm not agreeing with you.
Yeah, this is a tough one because like everybody's making good points, and it's just like, I buy into that. Yeah, you're right.
That's Tarantino, man. He just, love him or hate him, he makes.
And we just want to see what he's gonna do next. We want to know what his next project's gonna be, and we just wait.
He keeps you on the edge of the seat.
All right. So Marq, do you have any closing arguments?
So I mean, just to kind of wrap it up, like I think that Kill Bill like combines like all the best elements of all of the like action movies that came before it, right? Like in we did Jay, you and I, we did a Scott Pilgrim episode like not long ago, and we talked about sort of like a transmedia narrative where there's a combination of things, like a confluence of things. Yeah. So I feel like the Kill Bill set is sort of a confluence of all of these different styles, right? So you've got martial arts, you've got drama, you've got like straight like 70s action, you've got grindhouse, like there's and you have some comedy in there. So for me, it's just like it's the perfect it's the perfect set of movies. And if I was forced to like do like one or two, like Kill Bill 1 or Kill Bill 2, I could easily make the same case for each one. Mm-hmm. Like it's just that it's just one of those things that it's just one of those films that I really consider to be a masterpiece. I agree with you that Pulp Fiction is probably the best film of the 90s. I agree with that. Like, all right, but as far as Quentin Tarantino's like best work, I really think that it's Kill Bill for. Oh yeah,
for sure, hands down.
And Paul's got a good question. She says, which of these three movies have the best music? And I'm gonna say, for me, that's a tough one because Quentin Tarantino, he goes deep into his music. But I want to say Pulp Fiction because you know what? You open with Jungle Boogie when they're messing around the radio, and then Son of a Preacher Man when she's getting ready. Like I feel like the music in Pulp Fiction. That's another thing. The music in Pulp Fiction, I feel like. Exceeds his other movies. All right, so Matt, you want to do your closing?
I mean, man, that's I pretty much said all I need to say. But my closing is basically just like I said before, I think all of them are unique. But it's just like fine wine. As he gets older, if he does more stuff, perfects things, I think more of it just kind of like comes out, more of his like originality sort of like seeps out through. So that's pretty much my thing. That's my last jab, is just, I have my biases, but yeah.
There you go, Mark. A couple guys in the chat think Kill Bill's got better music than Pulp Fiction. So there you go. There's that.
I fully agree. The scene, like my favorite song in there, and I don't know the name of the song, but like to me, like the most fitting soundtrack to a particular scene is Lucy Liu, like when she fights the bride. Like when they're like in that outside in that courtyard and that like clapping music starts, I'm like,
man, that scene. I mean, that stuff is like, that's kind of like a lot of that music kind of like reminded me of like Wes Anderson stuff.
Yeah,
like what he does too.
that was stuck in my head.
5, 6, 7, 8. That band.
That band that was playing. Oh man, yeah. That's what I love about Quintin. His music. He's always got this obscure choice of music for all his movies and whatever. And for me, it was always that Pulp Fiction like soundtrack, man. That always got me. And I also love the soundtrack in forgive me, Death Proof, and the chick habit, like.
Yeah.
Okay,
one of my favorites too, like Reservoir Dogs. Like we can't close this out without talking.
They rip his ear off and.
Yes, and it's playing, and he turns on the radio, and it's like stuck in the middle with you.
Yes.
And he's like dancing around, like with the guy's ear, like, hey, what's going on?
Going all American Psycho.
All right, yeah. So, my quick closing is like, Pulp Fiction, movie of the '90s, Quentin's best movie. And, you got three different stories going on in whatever order, and just you root for Travolta and you root for Sam Jackson, you root for Bruce Willis, like, and then of course the drug overdose scene, like. There are so many memorable scenes and so much
great moments.
Oh my god! And there's moments that just stand with you forever. And Pulp Fiction's obviously one of those movies I have to rewatch every year. And it's just Listen, all his movies are great, but I just feel like if you're holding a gun to my head, if the robbers come in and they're saying your family's gonna die, which one of your children we're gonna kill first? I'm gonna tell you right now, if those are all my Quentin Tarantino movies, please save Pulp Fiction for last. Kill the other ones first.
Well, now we know.
Okay.
Oh, my mother's here. Hello, Mom. So guys, what do you think? Who you voting for? Team Mark, Team Jay, or you want to give one for Team Matt? We want to know. Okay, tell us what your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie is. And if it's a movie that's different from our 3 picks, great. But among the 3 picks, which is your favorite? Team Mark, Team Matt, or Team Jay? We would love to know. Woo! Good times, guys. Good times. So,
all right, that was fun.
That was fun. So let's take it back to the regular show here. Let's do a little bit of an open floor before we go. So transition. I hope you guys like that Super Friends transition I do for the show. So yeah, open floor, guys. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to wrap this up. So if you guys got any questions for us, questions for Matt, now's the time.
That's right. Now is the time. The witching hour is upon us.
So, Matt, and I want to ask you that. Are you up for? Do you have like a demo reel that you that you have out there that you want to share with everybody, or is there anything you want to share that stuff that you're working on you want to share or no?
Well, I mean, my main demo reels are basically, you can even put it in the description later if you want to. It's MatthewFarden.com, 2 T's, Matthew, FARDEN.com. And I'm currently actually working with my brother right now. We're actually revamping, overhauling the website, but my stuff's still up there. You can, anybody is interested, they can go there. And I have my commercial demo and my animation demo. I have a couple more projects. Like if you go to SoundCloud as well, it's just Matthew Farden on SoundCloud.
Okay, we'll put the links in there.
I have a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. I have more stuff on there. So if anybody's interested, they can go take a look at that. But besides that, just if you're hiring, if anyone out there is looking for a voice actor, I'm your man. I'll do what you need me to do to make whatever you're selling or whatever sound incredible.
Okay, and so you're doing like open commissions. If you have like, if there's anybody out there that needs voice work for anything, whether if it's like a show or like a commercial or anything like that, you up for doing some voice?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, I have a decent, just upgraded my microphone. Going to do some little extra sound dampening because it's a little more tough, especially living in a place that you don't live. You got to be really careful about marking up the walls and stuff like that. So I got a setup. Anybody's looking, I can deliver in a great amount of time and always looking for work. That's the thing. Out in the film industry, you're always looking for work. So
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
I also want to mention real quick, this is going to make us all feel really old, but guess who turned 40 today? Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin is 40 today. Can you believe it? I just wanted to throw that out there because I saw that just came to my attention, and I'm just like, yeah. So
that makes me feel really old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was even younger than you guys when I saw Home Alone and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I was already a grown man when Home Alone came out. So the fact that he's like 40, it makes my back hurt.
You don't look it, man. You look great.
Thank you.
It's so funny.
It's the lighting. The lighting in here.
Shout out to I don't know if he's here tonight, but Titan Goji's he's a big kaiju YouTuber. So we were chatting the other day about the Pacina interview and whatnot. And we were talking about, I mentioned my age. I'm like, yeah, I'm 33, almost 34. And he goes, oh, dude, I didn't know you were that old. I'm like, well, thank you. That's a compliment.
Wow.
And then I said, yo, so how old do you think Marq is? And he's like, well, is he in his 20s? I'm like, no. And then I told him how old Marq was, and Titan Goji's reaction was, oh my God, what Lazarus pit is he bathing in all the time? I'm like, it's that martial arts, man.
Yeah, it's kung fu.
Oh, there you go. How old are you again, Marq?
What's that?
How old are you again?
I will be 50 in January.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. I'm 30 and I look like some pristine mustachio man in his 50s.
You look like Mario in the back.
Oh, this is me, right behind me. Wow. No, like I said, man, not just blowing smoke up your ass. Like, you look really good for your age. I even mentioned it to Jay too. Jay's just like, yeah, dude, he's gonna be 50, and I was just like, what? Like, what the heck? He's like, I know, man. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, man. He looks.
I don't sound like that.
What? Or maybe it's like when we're watching stuff and you're just like, you're laughing and just punching me and just going. That's how you can tell Jay's enjoying himself. If you're watching a movie and if he's like laughing and just punching your arm while he's watching it, then he's loving the film.
That sounds right. That sounds about right.
Love you.
Yeah, I know you do. It's just I used to love it back in college when. I mean, I love your celebrity impressions, but when you do your impressions of like other colleagues and stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like Mike's like, guys, I'm just gonna listen to Springsteen. Come on, guys.
Oh my God.
Or like Jimmy Morgan with Lady Laser Sports.
Wait, real quick. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go in jukebox. Do your John Madden, please, real quick.
Here's a guy if he takes the ball down, he could just like walk into the bathroom with the ball, but he's still gonna get a touchdown.
Oh my God! Like, dude, this dude can do a whole lot of voices. That's why like I said, his Joker voice you hear on our show, that's him. So I'm just saying, like, if you guys got like voice work that you need done and you want him to do like a certain specific voice, dude, holler at your boy Matt because he can pull it off. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, in the comments, like I said, I can do whatever I can. But if there's people in the comments that, like, before we go, if they want me to do a couple voices, I got my second bottle of water, got my second wind.
Yes. Amen. So Matt, we had a blast with you here on the show. I know you have a very busy schedule, but I asked this to all of our guests, man. Would you ever want to come back on NerdCage Live?
Oh hell, you guys know, of course. Of course.
Awesome.
I love you guys.
Awesome.
I always love seeing the streams and everything. And when Jay actually told me that he wanted me to come on as a guest, which I knew was eventually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've been counting down the days. I counted down the weeks. Like I told him, I was like, as soon as I get home and I have my recording set up and everything, I am 100% there. So I'm just really, really happy that I could get this chance to talk with you guys. And I'd love to come back on for some more streams.
Absolutely.
Well, we've really enjoyed having you, man. Like, this has been a blast, Like, we've never done, I don't want to say we've never done, like, a three-way, rage battle, but this was, like, definitely the most fun one that we've done so far. Like, it's pretty cool. So thank you for sure. Thank you for spending some time with us.
No, you're more than welcome, guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, awesome. and before we go, I just want to point out a few things to everybody. So Marq and I, we have more stuff in the works that we're really excited. We want to give you guys a quick preview here. Is that we're gonna, I'm actually going over state borders to go see New Mutants this weekend. So we're gonna be doing a spoiler-free review of New Mutants. And
yes, there you go.
And we're also going to be doing a review of Bill and Ted Face the Music. So you got 2 movie reviews coming this weekend from your boys Marq and Jay. We're really, really excited, keeping the content going, and again, we're really excited that we're beginning to see some movies to come out, and that's what we want base the show around. Not only to have our discussions, but we want to do some reviews, and so we got 2 reviews coming up this weekend. We're really, really, really excited, and they hopefully be up on the channel early on next week.
Yes, and we're going to be doing some more of these look back episodes. We've got a lot of film anniversaries coming up in the next month, 2 months, and so be on the lookout for more of those anniversary specials, including an anniversary special for the movie 7.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 25th anniversary 7 is in September. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll have we'll have the reviews up, and we'll and then we're gonna have another guest on next week's stream. So we're really, really excited. So everybody, thank you for supporting the show. Matt, thank you for taking the time off your busy schedule from the West Coast of being on here. We definitely can't wait to have you on again. And thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody who participated in the chat. We love you guys. You guys are fantastic. Foundation NerdCage Live is worldwide. We love you guys. We appreciate the support. You guys, there is no NerdCage Live without you guys. So thank you to everybody. I mean that. It's so humbling. I see you guys. I see the same faces show up every week on the live streams, and I'm seeing more people join the live streams that I don't know. So it's great to see that the people keep coming back, and then the people that the additions that making this channel grow. Thank you so much to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really appreciate all the support. Like when we started this thing, we really were skeptical that more than 2 people might show up one time, or we may get 10 or 15 subscribers, but you guys have really helped us, not only by kind of showing up to these live streams, or checking out a video here or there, but actually telling your friends and kind of sharing the stuff, and it's been a big boost to us. So once again, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
I'm just happy to be here.
Oh man, anything you gotta say before we close it out?
Thank you to everyone for supporting the show. I was very blessed and honored to be able to have Jay approach me to do the intro, the segue, and then the outro. And yeah, just keep supporting the show. I really love this format. It's just we're just talking about movies. We're talking about video games. We're talking about everything that everything that universally brings everyone together. And I just really love this format. And I'm just really happy to be here sharing it with you guys.
Awesome.
Right. Yes, thank you. So, before we go, we ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread this shit like syphilis. So to you, I say, from Louisville to Syracuse to Los Angeles, to all of our friends and fans of the world at NerdCage Live, enjoy life, stay safe, and good night.
Sayonara.
Peace out.
Ooh, trying to get out of the NerdCage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!